Hey guys, this is Stu from Stuart Scale Models, and this is going to be my inbox review of a little sort of in-between project, between builds. I know I said I wasn't going to do any, but I couldn't resist this. I actually have seen the film of Force Awakens, and this character is sort of in the mould of Darth Vader, as it were. He's the new baddie, as it were. In fact, it turns out he's actually Han Solo's son, who's gone to the dark side. I won't tell you the plot of the film in case you haven't seen it, but he is one of the central characters in this film, and possibly of the new series of Star Wars films. Very dark character, and he basically implied that what Darth Vader started, he will finish and continue. It's one of a set of figures that Bandai do in 1/12 scale. I've built around about, I think, about 4 or 5 of them now, and they are exceptional quality, beautifully engineered. The instructions, yes, I know, are in Chinese, but they are easily followable. It's just a case of concentrating on what you're doing, and then you'll find out that at the end of the build you've got a supreme looking subject. And I'm actually going to pose him in this pose here, where he's putting his hand out with the force, as it were, and then he's got his lightsaber in the other hand. I think it's a dramatic pose, and it will look fantastic against my Captain Phasma. Now I'm going to start on this tomorrow, as it's my day off. Possibly do it over the next couple of weeks, and then hopefully get that one completed in between the other builds. Okay, so without further ado, we'll get on with the inbox review. As you can see here, this is the famous pose taken from the film The Force Awakens. With him in his mask, lightsaber, and pushing the force out, as it were. On the side of the box you've got a picture of the figure itself. Shall I do it there? That's what it looks like once it's built up. And there's the 2 other figures either side. You've got the New Order Stormtrooper, Captain Phasma, and Kylo Ren in the middle there. But you can have him in a number of poses. Okay. And then on the other side, as you can see here, it's a still from the actual film of Kylo, and then obviously there's all the other poses that you can do him in. This is the one I'm going to go for, right here. So there we go. The kit number on this one, I'm not sure where it is. Here we go. Is 0207572-3000. I'll pause that if you want to, so you got the kit number. Alright, and then we'll carry on with the actual review. Okay, first off, as I normally do, I'll get the instruction sheet, which is at the bottom of the bag here. Okay, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues, obviously a sticker for his mask, and then you got the base there. Okay, right. Let's get the instruction sheet. First off, as you can see, you got a still from the film here of Kylo Ren in 2 poses. This is the one I'm going to go for. And one of the completed kit, which does look very convincing, I have to say, apart from the lightsaber. Whether you'd be able to light that up or not, I don't know. Be interesting to see if somebody does. And then obviously, first off, you've got the sprue tree, which you see here. Admittedly, all the instructions are in Chinese, so you won't be able to interpret them unless you can read Chinese. And then moving on, first stage is the cape, which you can see here. Sorry, beg your pardon, I'm going jumping the gun here. Right, first off, you've got some of the actual movements of the chest here for the arms, etc. Putting the little sort of plastic parts in there to put your arms in. Then the chest plates go together, as you can see here, with the actual chest of his cloak on it. And then the next composition is the right arm with all the various parts, as you can see there. Left arm. Okay, and as you're going through each process, as you can see here, you've got an illustration of where the parts are, okay, on the model. And then obviously you put the two arms interlinked together. And then, unusually, normally it's the head that starts off first, but in this case it's step 5. You put the two halves of the back of the head together, then the front part of the mask, and then add the decal or sticker. Add the mouthpiece right there, and then put his hood over the face. And then add that to the cape, which goes onto the torso. Okay. Next process is the build up of the hips, which you can see here with the various joints. Then the right leg, which you can see here. And that comes in 2 parts. And obviously you've got the foot there with all the movement, as you can see here. Very beautifully engineered again. Then you're going on to the left leg, again the same parts again, and then you put the 2 legs into the middle torso. And that is basically that, I think. Have I jumped the gun? Yes, I have. Here we go. Then you're moving on to the cloak, which is obviously the lower part of the cloak. Add the midsection, which goes onto the legs or the torso. Then put the cape over the legs, as you can do here. Again, it's made of rubber, so you can pose him open, as it were. The belt goes on, the front part of the belt, then the rear part of the belt, and put the rear part of the cloak on. And then obviously you've got the upper torso, which goes onto the hip joint, into the lower legs. Okay, now they are advertising, I think that's that part, and then step 11 is obviously where you put the lightsaber together, which you see here. Okay, and then they do have a little part which you can actually add to stand it on the stand, but I don't think it comes with the kit. I think you have to order that separately. And then obviously if you're adding it in his arm, you use different arm or hand joints. That's your base. Add his foot to the base, because obviously you've got a little section there for his foot, and then add that to the back clamp. There isn't any with this kit, unfortunately, so I think again you'd have to get in touch with Bandai to order that part. And then obviously the last stage is indicating the various poses you can put him in. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to go for because I think it's the most dramatic. There we go. Okay, so that's basically in your instruction sheet. Again, you do have the alternative of applying a decal if you want to. That's if you want to paint him. Okay, right, first sprue, as you can see here, I'm not going to take them all out of the bag. There's all the various joints of the arm, as you can see here. And then you've got all the different poses for whichever version you want of how he's holding the lightsaber, and again with the arms as well on here. Okay, so that's that. And then on the back here you've got the actual stand he goes on, or the plinth, and there's a little bit of it here you put in the front. And then obviously you've got, I think this is the decal for his eye mask. Okay. Okay, and then if I open this one up, which I'm going to, and have a closer look at some of the clothing and some of the parts. There we go. This particular one is all the ball joints that go into the joints of the arms and the legs, which you can see here, which you assemble, and obviously in the torso. Okay, there you go. Alright. And this is obviously the actual ray for the lightsaber, which you can add onto the actual lightsaber itself, and there's the side parts. Okay. This is part of the actual chest torso, that's your hip torso there, and then obviously you've got your various parts for the lightsaber, however pose you're going to have it in. And right here, as you can see, nicely moulded, if I can get into shot, is his eye mask. Okay, so you do have the added addition of putting that on as well, possibly painting up separately if you should so wish. There's the two halves of his back head. That's his face mask right there, which you can see. Okay, that's his belt either side, back and front. And this is the upper torso for the cloak. Now I do love the texture on this. This is really nicely done, as you can see. If I get it to go into focus right here, I really have caught the fabric of the cape very well. And obviously this is his mouthpiece right here. Okay, now depending on how you're going to pose him, that's your various hands. Okay, again they've got the actual sheen of the actual glove very nicely caught. Okay, and that's that. And then the final sprue, or sprues, I'm going to get this one out of the bag as well. Is the lower part of his cape, and whoop, it's that flimsy. It's quite draped nicely as well. Again, obviously because I'm going to have his legs open, and you've got the slit there, and it's beautifully caught. I really like that. I mean, you could paint it up, I suppose, with acrylics, and if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do so. I'm just going to build it straight from the box. And that's the, I think, the front part of the cape, lower part of the cape. Again, they really caught the creases in the material beautifully. I think this is going to make an awesome kit, actually. And then finally, and I'm going to get these out of the bag. Are these. There we go. The upper part of his cape by his neck. Again, beautifully caught on the creases of the material, and I love the texture of his cape. And on the back as well, beautifully moulded, absolutely exquisite. And again, obviously there's his hood as well, so that's very nicely caught as well. Beautiful drapes on that as well. So there you go, that is Bandai's 1/12 figure of Kylo Ren. I think this is going to build up into a very impressive figure once it's built. I mean, obviously if you want to paint it you can, it's entirely up to you. But I'm going to build it straight from the box. Now, either way I think it's going to look a lovely kit. And quite nice. Well, I hope what will possibly become one of the most iconic characters of the new Star Wars franchise of films. Now I know The Last Jedi is actually due out in December, and I am waiting, along with many others, with bated breath to see it. If it's anything like the first, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. I think there's going to be some big battle scenes in it. God, I'm having a nightmare trying to get this bloody part of the cave back in. Come on, get in. That's it, we got it in. There we go. Right. I'll put that one back in its bag as well, because I don't want to lose it. There we go. Oh, by the way, there's a sticker version as well, his face mask. Put it up the right way, as you can see there. Yeah, as I say, it looks as though it's going to be a lovely little build. I hope I don't come across any issues. I shouldn't think I will, because I mean with most Bandai kits they're beautifully engineered. Particularly some of the figures that I've built so far. So if you can go and get hold of one of these on eBay, or possibly as you guys over in the pond are getting these now on the modelling shop shelves or hobby store shelves, it's worth getting. I'll tell you, they are beautiful kits. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon.